Welcome guys, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little while since I posted, but stuff hasn't quite been working out with my video ideas. Hoping to get that all sorted out soon and get back on my upload schedule. But today's video is going to be talking a little bit about kind of what I'm thinking with the future of future motion and what might happen here in a little while with the company. And a lot of it revolves around float wheel and the new ADV and ADV Pro. So let's get into talking about that. So as you guys might know already, I'm sure some of the people who are big into the one wheel scene will know that Float Wheel has recently started coming out with the ADV and ADV Pro, kind of their take on the GT. And there's a little bit of controversy about it because it's pretty much stealing the tech rails from the Mob Shop X Shoemaker, or Matthew Shoemaker, I'm pretty sure that's his name, correct me if I'm wrong. But pretty much stole the design from those, but as far as I can tell, they're okay with it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there's a little bit of controversy about that. But overall, the design of the ADV and ADV Pro is pretty interesting. It's using a VESC-based system, so in theory you'll be able to tune it and change how it rides depending on your needs and what you want it to do. Which that'll be pretty awesome to see a VESC in a like standard market one wheel that you can buy. Another thing about it is that the axle is going to be much bigger than the GT, so with that amount of power that the VESC can output, you probably won't be having overheating, but we'll have to see how it actually works out. But then again, also, this brings up the question, is the ADV going to be better than a GT? Well, that's something we're just going to have to find out once they get released to the public and the Float Life and other YouTubers and groups can test it against the GT. I honestly, in my opinion, think that if it can hold its claims, because on paper the claims are better than a GT, or will match a GT at least. So if it can hold up its claims, then I could definitely see it being a threat to the GT, which I love the GT and I love Future Motion. I think it's a great company, but if the Float Wheel can produce something that can match and even better the GT, I'm all for it then. I'm all for new companies creating something that gives Future Motion competition. Sorry if you couldn't hear that. That trailer was really loud. But yeah, if it could give Future Motion any kind of competition, then that would be awesome to see. I'm gonna let this guy go in front of me. It's kind of a lot of traffic here. But yeah, Future Motion has not had any kind of competition for the past, well, since they started. The only recent competition, I think, really that they've actually had is possibly VESC and the DIY one wheel scene. That's the only real competition, and that's really only started to take shape in the past few months as something that could really beat a one wheel. So seeing that there's possibly now a competitor, like an actual competitor that could match One Wheel's flagship model, the GT, is awesome to see, because it means that it's going to push One Wheel and Future Motion to make better changes to the GT, to their current OneWheels, or even design a new, better board, which would be awesome to see them make changes to that, and be awesome to see what they could come up with to keep this competition going. But on the other hand, on one hand, I'm thinking, hey, competition is going to be great. It's going to push innovations and start pushing the limits of what companies can really make as far as OneWheels go. But then on the other hand, I'm also looking back at the electric unicycle scene. And as you guys probably have known, the competition in that is tough. There's new unicycles coming out quite often, and recently we've had the InMotion V13 Challenger, which is an absurd wheel. Like, the amount of power that thing is pushing is insane. You can get upwards of 60 miles an hour. I think even if I could ride a wheel like that could do 60 plus, I don't think I would. And that's like, recently I watched Huge Tech. He said InMotion gave him the codes to unlock that full 60 mile an hour on his V13. And he said he doesn't even want to do it because it's too fast for him. And he's an insane rider. He is probably one of the best, I shouldn't say one of the best, but he is a great rider. Up there with the best. And he doesn't want to ride 60 mile an hour. I wouldn't. But just being able to do that and having that ability is just honestly insane. So I feel like there's a point in where competition can become almost too much, and it starts pushing the limits and going from what can we do to what should we do. Should we have OneWheels that can push 30 miles an hour comfortably, or is that going to be just too much for people? Obviously there's riders already pushing 30 miles an hour on Vesks and stuff, but the question is, should we have that as something that you can just buy? Just go and spend the money on it, and you can just go out and ride 30 plus miles an hour on a OneWheel. I don't know. I feel fine staying sub 20, or even just around the 20 plus. Oh, you're good. Like, I don't feel like we should be able to go faster than 25. 25 is about the fastest I really feel like we should be able to go on OneWheels. Like, me personally, my personal best was 24 miles an hour, and don't get me wrong, the GT felt solid at that speed, but I wouldn't feel comfortable pushing it any faster than that, because I know the limits of my board. I know where my board starts to go, hey, this ain't what I was made for. I know people will push the GT up to 30 miles an hour, and props to you for doing that. That is awesome. It's awesome to see that is happening. Man, that is not for me. I like keeping it around 20 and under, just hitting some bongs, some tricks, ripping through trails, just flowy feel. That's where I like it. I don't think we should be moving to high-speed OneWheels. OneWheels were kind of designed to be snowboard replicas and stay at a slow speed. So I don't know. I love that Float Wheel is coming out with something that's going to push the competition, but on one hand, I'm also hoping that this doesn't turn into the electric unicycle wars that we've had going on right now, where it's pushing to be faster and faster. That just, it's kind of scary to think about what could come out of this. And I definitely think that OneWheel should push to make improvements so that they have the superior board over other companies, because I really want to see Future Motion stay on top of the one-wheel scene, and they have for so long. But at some point we really need to realize, hey, there's a limit to what we should do. And obviously there's going to be DIY people who will always push the limits, and I think that's fine. That's awesome that people are doing that, but as a consumer product, I think we should stay about where we are for one wheels. If you have a different opinion, let me know in the comments down below, but as far as I'm concerned, I think that's their best bet right there. But anyways, guys, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. It's kind of me talking about what I think could be happening with this newfound competition that Future Motion might have. Obviously, we'll have to wait to see if this is actually the GT killer that the float wheel could be, that the ADV1 promises to be. As far as paper stats go, it could be, but we'll have to see. But yeah, thanks guys for listening to me kind of talk about this for a little while. And if you have a different opinion or have something else to say about this, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what your guys' opinion is on this, and to see if you guys think we should be pushing for faster one wheels or just more insane boards. So let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time. Stay floaty.